So I think it's up on this end. Hello, hello. Apex Truck Driving School, Hudson, Wisconsin.
Breaker.
It says I've been live for 10 seconds. Exciting. So I think we have some pop in the fridge there as well. Well, I think we can go now. So
all right. Can I move this?
I'll go over to the shop, and if there's anyone else, I'll have them come in.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll just kind of go ahead and start with the tablet here. Basically, my job is to come in here, get between 30 and 40 leads per week. So last name, and this is also for your benefit too, so Maverick can call you or email you and do the hiring process basically. Last name, just click the box that says last name, type in your last name on the touchscreen keyboard. First name, same thing. Social, do not put your social on the tablet because you're passing it from person to person. Date of birth, 2 digits for the month, the day, and then 4 digits for the year. And then address, city, state, zip code, primary phone, email, contact method. Do you want Maverick to call you? Do you want Maverick to email you? Totally up to you on how you want to be contacted. We only contact you guys one time by the way that you put here, by the contact method. So do you even authorize Maverick Transportation to contact you? If you put yes, we'll contact you one time. If you put no, we won't even contact you. It just gives me credit that basically my boss knows I came in here. And then, have you served in the military? Yes or no, right there. Save button at the bottom will save your information, send it off to our company, and then we will call you the one time or email you the one time. So I'll just go ahead and start right here, and then I'll, I guess, is there some more people in the shop?
Sounds like there might be.
There might be. Okay, all right, I'll kind of hold off then. Does anybody have any questions before I get started? I was in the flatbed division. We also have a glass division, hauling large commercial sheets of glass. So
like more local or over the road?
Over the road, yes. So over the road would be flatbedding glass here is 12 days out for the glass division, sometimes 14 days out with the glass division. Flatbed is 2 weeks out, sometimes 3 weeks out in the flatbed division. That's the division I was in, so. Did that for 8 years with Maverick.
So you do 3 weeks and they off how many days?
About 3 days, 4 days, kind of whatever you request at that point. Because you have 11 days in advance. You can tell us, hey, I want this day off, or I want 2 days off, or 3 days off whenever I come home. So, but yeah. So it's basically 2 weeks out is the norm, and then sometimes it's going to be 3 weeks out. So. And it is $65,000 for flatbed. It's also $65,000 for glass division also. So, I mean, it's good money, but yes, it does require you being gone.
So how many days can you request off between your trips?
There's really not a day. It's just a special request you're able to use once a month. So like birthdays, doctor's appointments, just whatever kind of stuff you want time off for.
Okay.
Your significant other wants you to go to their family reunion, whatever kind of situation you need to be home for. Basically, you just give us 11 days in advance, and we'll make sure that you're home for that. Even the middle of the week, too. So it doesn't have to be Saturday, Sunday, Friday, or Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday type thing. So. Any other questions? Anything else before the other guys get in here, and then I just tell you everything? Does anybody have any questions at the other location? I think you guys call a phone number. I got the phone over here. If you want to call in, I can answer your question too. But yeah, glass is all 48 states, all of Canada. That's basically where you'd be driving the truck for us. You have to have a passport or a pass card to be able to do Maverick's Glass Division.
You guys pay for the passports?
We do not pay for it, no, because it belongs to you. Yeah, 150 is a passport, 35 is a pass card. And the post office is where you get it, so here in Wisconsin. Any other, and I'll get a brochure to you in my pen. Any other questions? And Maverick doesn't have any contracts or any kind of stuff like that. So don't worry about us being that kind of company either. So if you turn to the second to the last page in the student magazine, you'll see what our starting pay is for you guys as a student coming to the company. It's pretty good. So let's kind of hold that up there. And the brochures are at Interstate. There should be on the table with all the other trucking companies. So 53 is glass division, 52 is the flatbed division, and then you get a 2-cent introductory rate of our pay for performance bonus. And that pays you basically on top of 53 and 52. All right. Oh, you're right here. So I'll just go ahead and start. Second to the last page, flatbed division, glass division. Flatbed's all 48 states. Glass division is all 48 states and all of Canada. You have to have a passport or a pass card for that division. Flatbed, you don't need that, so don't worry about that. $65,000 is glass division. $65,000 is also first year average for flatbed division. Basically, I just told you where you're driving the truck, told you all the info there. And then how you get to the company is basically in the middle section, which is basically where you can see the staples here. And this is going to have how you get down to orientation, the training, the pay, the orientation pay, all that sort of stuff. I'll go over that real quick. So orientation in Little Rock, Arkansas is where you're going to be. We pay for you to get down there, so don't worry about how you're going to get to Little Rock, Arkansas, how much that's going to cost. We're going to pay for that. Your hotel is also paid for. It's called the Maverick Hotel, and I have a photo of them, and I'll pass that out right now so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about instead of just imagining what a Maverick Hotel looks like. And I'll show the rest of you up here while I'm on the subject of what it looks like. So this is the Maverick Hotel right here. This is where you guys will be staying. Basically Sunday through Friday, you guys will be at the Maverick Hotel, and we start orientation every single Sunday of every single week, and then orientation is over with every single Thursday. Payday is Friday. Your first paycheck is going to be held back. If you turn to that middle section here, you can see what orientation pay is. It's $600. Orientation pays you the second Friday that you're there. And someone else coming.
Let's see. Toward into death.
Yeah.
Here's your password
Oh, yeah.
or your email.
Yeah.
Was there someone else that was missing one?
Ibrahim.
Okay, I'll look for it. Sorry about that.
No problem. And we give you a $50 prepaid MasterCard on the first day of orientation. That's there so you have spending money whenever you're down there in Little Rock, because Maverick is going to also provide you guys breakfast and lunch. Dinner is basically on you. You use our company vehicles to go get dinner. So that's basically how that works. So your travel, your hotel, breakfast and lunch is provided. Dinner is at the end of the day. You guys just jump in our company vehicles and run down to wherever you want to go eat dinner at. So that's kind of how that works. And then training pay. Training pay is going to be 5 weeks long. Orientation is just the 1 week, Sunday through Thursday. Training pay is $600 each week, just like orientation was, okay? So training is going to be 5 weeks. The first week of training is going to be your second week in Little Rock, Arkansas. So the first week is orientation, classroom setting, behind computers, filling out your paperwork, watching videos. learning about all this sort of stuff they're teaching you here when it comes to the logbooks, you know, FMCSR. So learn all this stuff because your company you go to, just like us, is going to require you to know all this information. So it's very important. Yes, ma'am.
Is there another alternative besides going to Little Rock for the training?
You have to go to Little Rock. That's our corporate
So
office. There's nothing up here you could go to orientation with. Like every employee at Maverick has to go to Little Rock, Arkansas. I did 11 years ago. So yeah, you have to do that. So just that's a good question because you guys live up here in Hudson, you know, pretty far from there. But yeah, yes. Any other thing on that? Travel's paid for going down there, but it'll definitely be some time getting down to Little Rock, Arkansas. So understand that too. And then training pay is going to be $600. Your second week in Little Rock, Arkansas is going to be load securement. If you choose the glass division, you're going to learn how to secure large commercial sheets of glass. You're also going to learn how to secure flatbed freight. If you choose the flatbed division, obviously it's only going to be the flatbed is what you're going to learn how to secure on that. So after your second week, you'll go into this building. I can show it to you so you understand. This is the building you go into for that second week, a straight week in here. And basically learning how to do load securement inside of that building. And then after your second week, a driver instructor, someone like myself, will come pick you up in their Maverick truck, and you'll spend 3 to 4 weeks left seat, right seat with this person. Whenever you're driving down the road, basically they're in the passenger seat the entire time. Whenever it's time to go to sleep, there's bunk beds in the back. Basically, you'll be on the top bunk if the truck belongs to that person, and you'll be on the top bunk. So just so you understand how that works. 3 to 4 weeks. If that person does not live anywhere near Minneapolis, Hudson, you're not going home for those 3 to 4 weeks. I know I'm just telling it like it is. Okay. We do put you in a hotel. So don't worry about, you know, where am I going to be staying if I'm in Dallas, Texas, because my driver instructor lives there. We're going to provide the hotel. It'll be a Holiday Inn Express, a Comfort Inn, a Comfort Suite, something mid-grade. It's not going to be Motel 6 next to a Shell gas station. And that's what you're eating Saturday for breakfast, Saturday for dinner, you know, so don't worry about that. We do not do that to you. We're not a cheap company like that. When you look at our pay, that tells it right there. We're not the cheap company that's, you know, scraping the bottom of the barrel and barely providing for you guys, you know what I mean? So I've been here for 11 years for a reason. Maverick has treated me very, very well. You know, they treated my family very well because without Maverick, I wouldn't be able to support my family the way I do, you know what I mean? So 6 weeks, $600, definitely understand that. That's with orientation and all of your training out of the way. That's the tunnel, I call it. You have to kind of go through before it opens up for you. And it's on the very first page right here. First bullet point, Maverick has $1,000 weekly guarantee pay, meaning you'll never make less than $1,000 paycheck once you get the key to your truck. You do get some money at the end of training. You get an $800 graduation pay. You get $400 when you get your truck. You get another $400 when you pick up and deliver your first load with your truck. So $800 is going to be on top of your last $600 paycheck, which will be your sixth paycheck at Maverick, $1,400. And then you start driving for us and you're guaranteed a $1,000 paycheck. $65,000 year paying job is $1,250 basically every week. If you want to do the math like that. I can tell you your paycheck will not be that dollar amount every single paycheck. Some are going to be high, some of them are going to be underneath $1,200. So just kind of understand that too, because you're paid cents per mile. Sometimes you'll be lucky, you'll get 3,000 miles in a week. Sometimes you'll be not so lucky, you only get 2,000 miles for the week. So just so you kind of understand how trucking works, I just want to tell you point blank exactly. Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually,
No. That's how I am. I'm very informal.
yes, thanks. You mentioned load procurement.
Load securement, learning how to throw the chains and the straps and the different securement methods you have to use for the different commodities that you put on your flatbed trailer, or just learning how to secure glass.
Securing glass.
And large sheets of glass.
So that's very involved.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a
physical. It's going to be a little physical for you. Climbing up on the trailer, climbing down from the trailer, getting equipment out, putting it on the deck of the trailer so you can pick up a steel coil. And then your next load might be steel bars. And then you have to take 8-foot boards and set your boards on the trailer to cover the 20-foot length of bar that you're pulling, that you're basically gonna have on your trailer.
Okay, all right. And so, and what is is that considered very difficult, or is it, but you say it's just considered involved, but not?
Yes,
not
the-
impossible.
You mean like lifting stuff, that sort of thing?
You know, are there tarps involved?
Yes, there are tarps involved.
What
There's,
does
you
the
have,
weather have to do with, I mean, does this wind and?
oh yeah, wind definitely affects tarping. Yes, yes,
So-
it does.
So it's not only skill involved, but it is a kind of,
It's a learning curve. I mean, your first 3 months, 2 months, somewhere in that neighborhood, you're basically gonna be like, man, I've really got to figure this out, you know. And you watch the other flatbedder next to you, who's in and out of there in like 45 minutes, and you're still there with half a tarp on. You're like, how did he do that? I'm gonna watch that guy next time, you know. So it is a learning curve, and you learn something new every single day. I drove truck for 8 years with this, and only this company, guys. And I'm still learning little tricks of the trade on how to basically be more efficient, you know, with my time of security and tarping, all that sort of stuff.
and so in the beginning, was it kind of scary for you thinking about having to secure this glass?
Yeah, yeah, I picked up a steel coil that was loaded what's called eye to the side. In trucking, they call it suicide because the eye is faced to the side of the trailer. And basically, if you hit your brakes super hard, and it has happened, you know, there's pictures of it on YouTube and, you know, on the internet, where the steel coil broke its chains and rolled. And guess what it hit? It hit the truck, you know what I mean? So the back of the truck. So, yeah, but as long as you do exactly what you're supposed to do, your training is going to be top notch at Maverick. Maverick spent, I think it says 3.5, that's what it says, $3.5 million on this building. And basically, this is load securement for you guys. The state of Arkansas brings its state troopers to this building to learn basically how a load should be secured, how it should be secured with our company. So that kind of tells you something.
So 11 to 12 years, you know, with experience doing it, looking back, the learning curve for you was how long when you felt like, okay, I'm good at this. I'm confident.
Like I said, about 3 months is when it just, and maybe I'm a slow learner, but 3 months I was like, bam, I knew exactly what I was doing, exactly the equipment I needed to pull out, place on the trailer, stage, get my tarps out. Tarping became easier because I knew exactly what I was doing. I learned, you know, just by doing it, just like anything.
You knew exactly what you were doing, and you felt good about the amount of time it took you to do it.
Yes.
And respect it.
Yes, absolutely. Because that load is sitting behind you. You're doing 65 mile an hour down the interstate. If someone pulls in front of you doing 20 on the on-ramp and they're doing 20, it happens, guys. It happens, okay? You look in that left lane, see if you can get over. If you can't, you got to hit the brake. And then you have the cars. You'll get this too, guys. This will infuriate you. You'll get the cars that will go as fast as you. They're ahead of you. And then they hit the brakes at the last minute and you're hitting your brakes like, get over, get in front of me. And it might even happen when you guys are training here where the car is ahead of you, but then they think because you're a big truck, they're not fast enough to get in front of you. So they hit their brakes and you're hitting your brakes and, you know, so and then you got to take a while to get back up to speed, you know, and so it's kind of frustrating that way. But yeah, another question?
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. If any question, just ask, yeah.
And what region? You said you guys cover the East Coast
We cover
in Canada?
Glass Division is all 48 in Canada. Maverick is the largest glass carrier in North America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if there's glass buildings, strip malls, just glass in general. Glass distributors is who we deliver to. Glass manufacturers is who we pick up from. So
Is there a specific area that you guys send Minnesota drivers to?
yeah, Owatonna. You know where that is? Just
Yeah.
south of Minneapolis. Yep, Owatonna, Minnesota. There's a glass plant there. I believe it's Vericon. If anybody knows that area, I believe it's Vericon. So I was a flatbed driver. That's why I'm not like up to speed on glass. Yes?
Your company vehicles only flatbed?
Flatbed and glass. Glass division looks like this. This is what the trailer looks like. There's an A-frame that holds up the glass. And basically, it's the second to the last page in your student magazine, which shows all of our divisions. But that is a glass trailer, basically. So flatbed is just going to be a flatbed trailer, nothing like this on it. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Then I'll kind of get through training and then into your truck and that sort of thing.
GI Bill?
GI Bill, if you have your, yep, it's on that second page. The last paragraph right here is about the GI Bill and you accessing your money for 12 months tax-free. So if you have your GI Bill, any prior military, I know you are, but any prior military, anybody else? Okay, yes. Oh, the tablet's done.
I didn't get it yet.
Did it lock out on you? Yeah. Be able to put your stuff in it.
You want to know.
GI, that's right. So the GI Bill, did you read the last paragraph
Yeah,
on
that's
that?
why I asked if that you can collect your benefits and supplemental.
Yep, supplemental
For
income.
the next year.
Yes, sir. What branch of service were you? Army, okay, I was Marine Corps, so. But yeah, basically, that's what it
Is
is.
that unique to Maverick or?
No, a lot of other trucking companies do that, just to be, forthcoming with
Is
you.
it considered like still a training for the first?
It is. It's on the job training. That's why we call it OJT. So it's on the job training for your first year. So you're able to get tax-free benefits, which is what you put in for during your 4-year enlistment, just like I did. And then you're able to access that money over time. For us, it's 12 months. Other companies, it's 24. It's the same dollar amount.
Right.
With us, you just get all your money back in a year instead of waiting 2 years or something like that. So any other questions? Definitely want to answer your questions if you got any. And then the decal, did you read about the decal? We also put this decal, which is way bigger than that, on the driver's side and the passenger side of your truck. So it'll say military veteran, then for you, it'll say Army underneath that, with the American flag. So it looks more like the United States, but it's the American flag, as you can see there. So any other questions? Full tuition, yes?
Sir, you mentioned you said give you the keys to the truck. Does each person get a truck that they take home with them? Or?
Yes, you take that is why I worked here as long as I did, guys. Because I don't have to park my truck at a terminal. I don't have to, go out of my way, drive my personal car 2 hours to get home, that sort of thing. Yes, right here, very last page, just if you want to read it, you want to show your wife or husband or whoever. Basically, yes, you take the truck home, you park the truck at your house, and you go home over the weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday, whenever you're coming back to work for us, you hop in your truck, you work 100% out of your truck. That tablet that's going around is similar to the tablet you're going to have in your truck. It's called PeopleNet. It has your GPS truck navigation. Keyword is the truck part. It has basically your messages, which is like email to the truck, and you're able to email your boss, that sort of thing. It's your electronic logbook, like he was talking about. With us, it's touchscreen. You push off duty, it goes off duty. You push sleeper, it goes to sleeper, and everything else. Driving, on duty, not driving, also is on there. So, yes.
Most your company trucks, like
Freightliner Cascadias.
yeah, I know. Manual or automatic?
Automatic, 100% automatic. Every single truck in our fleet is automatic. Yeah. And we have 1,700 trucks at all divisions at Maverick.
So how many hours to train like before drive myself? How many hours to give like mentor?
With us, it's gonna be 3 to 4 weeks. Are you talking about our training, Maverick's training?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maverick's training is gonna be 3 to 4 weeks, left seat, right seat with the driver instructor. Then you get your truck. So it's not really so much hours, it's more of weeks with the driver instructor. And this is a person who has been driving truck, knows what they're doing, and is gonna show you, ask a lot of questions, just have an open mind when you're with them, but is gonna show you basically how to drive for our company. He's gonna show you everything specific to Maverick, fueling the truck, doing your logs, sending in your logs, scanning in your paperwork at the truck stop through TransFlow. We fuel at all pilots, Flying J, and Love's truck stops, every single one of them. We buy fuel millions of gallons at a time, way before you even show up to the pump. So when you show up to the pump, you enter in your truck number, your DOT number, and your license plate, some other numbers, and then you're good. You know what I mean? So you don't have a card that doesn't work. You know, you don't have to go inside of the truck stop. Everything is done at the fuel island. So it's pretty efficient. And then you're also able to get rewards. I'm sure your instructor here could tell you about it, but you get rewards for basically fueling your truck. You get points basically. And then you can use that at the truck stop and save a lot of money. So instead of spending, yes.
Social security optional, right?
Do not put social. Everything else you can put there though. Okay.
Is put in the social security?
No, do not put social security number. Do not. So, any other questions? All right, I'll kind of go forward here. Full tuition reimbursement. Is anybody paying out of pocket for the school here? Anybody? Nobody is? Okay, just want to make sure because this is money. And then graduation pay, I talked about that. Starting cents per mile. The glass division pays 53 cents per mile. The flatbed division pays 52 cents per mile. And then down here it says plus, right here, plus an additional 2 cents per mile pay for performance intro rate. So you get the 2 pennies on top of the 53, which is 55, 2 pennies on 52, which is 54. And you get that your first 3 months that you work for Maverick, okay? Your first quarter at Maverick is going to be January, February, March. The second quarter is April, May, and June. July, August, September is the third quarter, and then October, November, December is going to be the last quarter of the year. So basically, whatever you do in the first quarter, we're going to pay you 2 pennies. Whatever you do in the second quarter was basically whatever you did in the first quarter's payout, okay? So whatever you do in the second quarter, if you have an accident, rub up against the yellow pole, deliver a load late, pick up a load late, idle your truck at night. We do not want you to idle the truck at night. We have EPUs in our truck that power the air conditioner, the heater, and the power inverter. It's 4 batteries that power that. They charge when you drive the truck. When you shut down the truck, you'll use basically that EPU. When you go to the East Coast, they have what's called a no idle law. You're not even allowed to idle the truck. So just FYI, so you know about that. Do you guys talk about that with them? Here, it's not a thing, but
our truck was set where it would shut off after 4.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same with us. Our trucks do the same exact thing. If you just leave the key in the on position and you're just sitting in your truck, like doing your log or messing with something on the steering wheel, the truck will just automatically kick out. Yeah, and then you have to start it up again. So, but yeah.
At first, it was hard to get used to, but once you got used to it, it's fine. It's no big deal.
Not a big thing. But ours do have the air conditioner and the heater, so you're going to be comfortable in the back when you're on your 10-hour break, taking your 10-hour break. So, what else? There's a lot of things that go into the 6 pennies. 6 pennies is your full pay for performance. So if you add 6 to 3, what is that? 59 cents per mile is what you can make just after 3 months working here, or 58 cents in the flatbed division just after 3 months working here. I will say this, if you start like after the quarter has started, like your start date with Maverick is going to be April 15th, it's going to be 5.5 months. I'm just telling you how it is, okay? I'm not paid a commission, otherwise I would not say this. So 5.5 months, you'll be stuck on the 2 cent introductory rate. And then basically you're able to get the 6 pennies because you missed 15 days of your first quarter at this company. So we can't round up your data because you're missing 15 days basically. But once you have a full quarter at Maverick, then you're able to get the 6 pennies or the 5 pennies if you have an accident. 4 pennies, get caught not wearing your seatbelt, get a ticket, that sort of thing. 3 pennies, delivered a load late. 2 pennies, you get what I'm saying? So it can go down to 0. If it goes to 0, it'll be 53 cents per mile the first 6 months working here, which would not be great. Your first 3 months are promised the 2 pennies, or it'll be 52 cents per mile for flatbed. So any questions on that? Anything there that you have? You're paid loaded and empty, exactly the same. So don't worry about getting paid a less amount if you're driving to Owatonna, Minnesota to pick up your glass, and then more basically if you're delivering to California or something, okay? So paid the same, definitely love that. Cents per mile after 6 months, this goes on top of your base pay. That's the 2 pennies. So it goes on top of the 52 and the 53. The 6 cents is always 6 cents. So then now you know what you're making now. 2 pennies on top of the 59 on top of the 58. So pretty good numbers. And then at 1 year, you get another 2 cent increase. So 6 months after your 6 month raise, you get another increase. And then you get yearly cents per mile increases over the next 5 years. So definitely a good thing. If you want to know what the top earners at this company made, I'll go ahead and address that real quick because that's something I wanted to know whenever I was in school. Glass division was 105. Temperature control division, I know I didn't talk about it because we don't hire for it here, $107,000 hauling chicken, basically Tyson chicken. And then flatbed was $103,000. So pretty good numbers, 6 figures, all of them, every single division. So, but that's a guy with 5 years or a gal with 5 years. So it's not going to be something, you know what I mean, you're going to do your first year. Your first year is going to be 65,000, right in that range somewhere. So just so you understand, it could be a little less or it could be a little more than 65. It's based on you because you're paid cents per mile. The more efficient you are at driving a truck, the more money you're going to make. You know what I mean? The harder you push yourself too. And then let's see, home time. I already did the home time. That's the first thing I do because you're not going to choose the division at Maverick unless it's, you know, it goes with your home time that you're looking for while you're sitting where you're at. So I remember that whenever I was in school. Age of equipment, less than 2 years old. That is definitely a good thing. Your truck will not be older than basically 2 years old. So promise you that. We get rid of our equipment. We don't keep equipment 5 years, 6 years, 7, anything past that. So your truck will be a fairly new truck. You're probably not going to get a brand new truck. I don't know what other companies say, but with us, it's off of seniority. So like me, I've had 2 brand new trucks since I've been at Maverick. I had my 2008 Freightliner Columbia. That was used. That was my first truck. My 2011, I received in 2010, brand spanking new. My 2015, brand spanking new, I received that in 2014. So when you retire a truck, you do get a brand new truck. So that's kind of a living example of that. So Maverick's been in business since 1980. So you don't have to worry about this being a fly-by-night Uncle Bob's trucking. You know what I mean? We go out of business. Now you have to find another job type situation. We have 3 divisions at our company. We have a lot of dedicated if you're willing to move for it. But in this area, it's going to be the 2 weeks out or it'll be the 2 to 3 weeks out for the flatbed division. Okay. So just understand that, right? And then per diem. Per diem is offered. Do you guys know what per diem is? Per diem is, you do. Good. Awesome. I don't have to cover that then. So a good thing. It gives you one heck of a tax break every single paycheck of the week. Or every paycheck of the year, I should say, because we're paid weekly. We have collision safety system with active braking. It's a black box that's on the front of the truck right here. You can see it if you look at middle page right here, turn one page towards the front. This black box basically controls the speed of your truck to the vehicle in front of you. It's active cruise control is what it is. That's what most manufacturers call it. But basically, if you set your cruise to 65, which is our governed speed, FYI, and car in front of you is doing 60, your truck will automatically start to do 60 and slow down and keep at the safe following distance behind the vehicle in front of you if you don't take it off cruise control. If you leave it on cruise control, you'll see your dash light up. Basically on your dash, it'll tell you how fast that car in front of you is going, speed, miles per hour. It'll also tell you how many feet that vehicle is in front of your front bumper, so you can quickly say, I don't want to do 60. And you look in your left mirror, get in the left lane and pass them. You know what I mean? If you're on the interstate, of course. And what else? That's pretty much all the big ones. And then I'll get into some other stuff. We have lane departure. If you touch the left painted line or the right painted line on the interstate, I think he needs it. Thank you. And just click the. If you touch the left painted line or the right painted line on the interstate without your turn signal on, it'll make a rumble strip noise out of the left speaker or the right speaker of the truck to let you know that you're unintentionally touching the line on the interstate.
Does it keep all the data as per the driver? Like, does it have something that stores the driver?
If you end up in an accident and it's a bad one, yes. If you're talking about, we're going to reprimand you because you touched the line 5 times today, no. So I would be fired. Not that, you know, I'm constantly, you know, not paying attention to the road. It's just, you know, you're going to be driving a truck for 11 hours every day and you're going to touch the line. I don't care who you are, you know. So, but yeah, just so you understand that. Now, let me talk about this because you're asking kind of on that. So if you turn back to that page, you can see a camera. There's a camera in the passenger side windshield, upper right corner right there. That camera can basically record 13 seconds previous to an accident and 13 seconds after the accident. And that is what that is for. If you have a pressure impact, a hard jerk of the wheel, a hard brake, it will start recording 13 seconds previous and 13 seconds after that. And then basically, if needed, you know, which I needed it one time, but if needed, then it will record what happened. And then we have video evidence of what happened. So if somebody else says you hit me, you know very well they hit you. We have the video. What I did is I showed the camera to the guy who hit me, and then he changed his whole story, and his dad ended up paying for the damage to our truck. That's how that worked. So, because at first he said it was my fault, and I said, it is not my fault. You hit me. All the damage is on the passenger side front, and it's on you. You know what I mean? So,
Is there a button that you can press on the camera too?
There's not a button, and there's not a camera pointed at you. A lot of trucking companies nowadays, guys, have a camera pointed at you, and they have a camera pointed on the outside. I don't know about how you guys feel. I know how I feel, my opinion. I don't want a camera pointed at me all day long while I'm driving a truck. I mean, I got a camera pointed at me right now. I don't mind that. This is temporary. But when I'm in my truck, getting ready to go to sleep, changing my clothes, just living in the truck, you know, Monday through Friday, I don't know. That's just me, though. I like my privacy. You know, if I want to pick my nose, I want to be able to do that, you know? Not like, oh, they're watching me. You know? So anyway, right? So can my significant other ride with me? Yes. Anybody can ride in the truck as long as they're over the age of 13. So your kids can ride with you, girlfriend can ride with you, anybody, okay? So enough said on that. We do not charge you extra to have someone ride with you if you want to have like your kids ride with you in the summertime. And it's only one rider. I shouldn't have said kids. Only one rider at a time. So you can't bring like two of your kids with you at the same time, or your wife and your kid. It can only be one person. So just so you know.
What about the dog?
No animals. We do not allow animals in our trucks. Yeah. So yeah. That's a big one, huh? Yeah. I got a dog too. Yeah. So.
I got a question.
Yes.
Because I have students asking me this. How does your company handle weigh stations? How do you know how much the freight that you're hauling weighs? Mm-hmm. And do you encourage them to go to scales at truck stops, or how do you handle that? Does your company pay for that?
Yes, we have an open account of CAT scale. I know you know what that is. Do you guys know what CAT scale is? No, CAT scale is at the truck stop. Basically, it's kind of a third-party scale. They charge it, basically. We have an open account with them. And if you do, like with flatbed, you don't so much because you know you're not right at first, but you know how much your truck weighs. My truck weighed about 32, somewhere in that neighborhood, 32,000. So if I knew I was picking up a 55,000 pound load, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna be over on the gross. Even if I move it 2 foot back from center of my trailer, I'm gonna be over gross, you know what I mean? So anyway, long story short, if you have to pay for a scale because it's a what's called a broker load, now I'm getting into probably like a different language with you guys, but a broker load means Maverick doesn't own that load, meaning Maverick doesn't know exactly how much that weighs. Maverick will never put an overweight load on your trailer because why risk it? You know what I mean? We're going to get the ticket and it's going to make our CSA score go up, and then things aren't so good here, you know? So, but yes, we have control over, I'd say probably 99% of the freight I hauled with Maverick was one of Maverick's loads at one of the big shippers and receivers like Gerdau, Georgia Pacific, US Steel, some of the huge manufacturers that we load at. So, but if you're in the middle of like New Mexico, or you know, you're out west somewhere, Montana, that's where I'd pick up a broker load most of the time, just to get back in the area over here to where I was back in the area of Maverick's freight. Was it good? Okay. Just making sure the app worked. And then any other questions on that? But no, most of the time you're never going to use a CAT scale. I could probably count on one hand the 8 years as a flatbedder, of course, how many times I actually had to CAT scale at a truck stop. So just to make sure I wasn't overweight, because it was a broker load. So it was lumber or bags of salt or sandblasting, sand, something like that. Something kind of awkward that Maverick usually does not haul. So anything else that you're kind of wondering about? And then I'll go through the benefits. Benefits is going to be through United Healthcare. For yourself, it's $45 for a single person. For you and a spouse and kids, family is going to be $127.50 per week. For just you and a spouse, it's $109. For just you and some kids, children only, it's going to be $109 a week. There's a $600 deductible. So you're paying for the insurance, yes, but the deductible is only $600 for the year. Coverage is 80/20 in-network, 60/40 out-of-network after your deductible. And then basically after $2,000, you receive 100% coverage after the $2,000. And then what else? Delta Dental will be your dental benefits, and then VSP will be your voluntary vision. Maverick does offer company paid life insurance, $30,000, something happens to one of you guys. Basically your family will receive that. Company paid. 401k does match you 50% up to $1,500 for the year. So if you put in $3,000 of your own money, Maverick will match you $1,500 of its money. So
When are you invested in that?
you're vested at 5 years. 5 years. So Transamerica is who the 401k is through too. So just so you're wondering. Let's see, I'll skip over some of the stuff. And then training, do not forget, training is going to be a total of 6 weeks with orientation and all of training basically done. And then it's $1,000 guaranteed paycheck after that. And that is forever. So remember that, that's forever. 600 is just a temporary thing you got to do while you're in orientation and while you're in training. So, which is 6 weeks. And then it is assigned equipment. I think you probably know that because my first truck, my second truck, my third truck, no one else ever drove those trucks. It was just me. And that's what I like. I'm a germaphobe, kind of a clean freak. Gonna Lysol that tablet as soon as I get to the car. But basically what I'm saying is I don't want somebody else in my truck throwing their trash, stinking it up, dropping stuff on the floor, not picking up after themselves. I had my truck situated a certain way, you know what I mean? And I like that I didn't have to clean it out every Friday because someone else is going to be driving that truck, So it was my truck, essentially, even though Maverick is footing the bill for it, but paying me to drive. Vacation is going to be 1 week after 1 year, 2 weeks paid vacation after 2 years, 3 weeks paid vacation after 5 years, 4 weeks paid vacation when you hit 10 years. Each week of vacation is based off your 52-week average. So as you earn more and more money, which you will, you're paid more and more for each week's vacation. So, and it's all right here if you want to kind of read on it too, but I'm just telling you here. Christmas and Thanksgiving are guaranteed off. Yes, sir.
So since we're fairly far away from obviously the corporate, you said you have a client up here in Owatonna.
Yes.
When we're obviously all from Minneapolis area, I mean mostly from Minneapolis, but
Right.
So how does that work as far as you going down and picking up loads at Little Rock?
No.
Where do you have terminals everywhere?
Terminals is not where you pick up a load. Terminal with Maverick, I don't know about other companies, but with Maverick is where you can get like an oil change done. You can wash your clothes, take a shower for free instead of, basically having to scan your pilot card or your Flying J or whatever. Terminals is just driver facilities that Maverick has, you know what I mean? You work 100% from that truck. Like me as a flatbedder, when I came up to Minneapolis, I knew I was loading out of one of 3 places, Shakopee, Minnesota. You guys know where that is? I would load out of Owens Corning, I believe is how you say it. Owens Corning, the roofing place. Been a while since I've been there. But basically I would load out of that place over there. So a lot of shingles came out of Owens Corning.
So if we're like located here and to bring the truck home, so I mean, what I'm trying to drive at is the logistics of.
Yes, for
being
glass,
here.
you're going to drive Monday to Owatonna. Yes,
Okay.
for glass you will. Yes, and we pay you to do that.
Sure. Okay, so then you're out for 2 weeks, you're back to the Owatonna theoretically.
Probably deliver here Friday, have the weekend off, loading Monday, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that, whatever your appointment will be.
Okay.
Or loading
You
Tuesday.
just drive home from Owatonna. Do you have any places, I know some companies have, I guess depots for lack, or parking depots?
No, we don't have any like.
To be honest, a truck wouldn't fit in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So to speak.
I'm the same in the same boat as you. What I did is I went on Google Maps and I looked at the satellite view around my house, and that's how I found my parking spot. So if it's going to be really far from your house, if you know your neighborhood pretty good and you're like, man, I live in a congested, zip code, then you're going to have to find somewhere where you can park and then have someone pick you up, or even Uber home if you can do that here. I'm not sure. I guess in Minneapolis.
But in essence, your routes are based out of your vicinity, that your home base is based.
Yeah, your home, where you live, I don't know where you guys live, but where you live is your home base. That's your Monday. I start my morning, and 100% of you doing your job is from that device. Because of electronics nowadays, it's 100% this thing. It's not a phone call trying to figure out. You don't need a terminal. You don't need any paperwork, anything. When you go to pick up your load, they're going to give you your bill of lading. That's the only paperwork you need. Essentially, you could never see a Maverick terminal. You know what I mean? I can tell you how many times I've been to Little Rock, Arkansas. I live in Kansas City. I've been to Little Rock, Arkansas, maybe just 2 handfuls, maybe 10 times in the 8 years that I drove for them. Yeah, so that should tell you something too. Didn't go past that yard very often because it's not my area. This is going to be your guys' area up here, running out of here. But glass is all 48 in Canada, so I definitely want to let you know that. But your home base is here.
Right. The flatbed, either way, you pick up some around here, you could go anywhere in the continental.
Texas, wherever.
You end up back here.
But you end up back here when you go home. Yep, when you have your weekend.
How did you determine flatbed versus glass? What type of decisions do you put into that?
11 years ago, when I started here, we had a glass division, but I don't think they were hiring students for it. It was only flatbed 11 years ago. Glass pays better, but glass is obviously glass. It's basically, I believe it's appointment times at most of the locations, where flatbed freight is open window. If the business is open from 8 to 5, you show up there, they're going to get you loaded, get you unloaded. With appointments, it's basically, and you need to figure this out, which company you want to work for, the type of freight you're going to be pulling, all this sort of stuff. You can get there 2 hours early and they'll say, we'll get you in the door if we can. But if we can't, you got to wait 2 hours before your appointment. And detention with us is $15 an hour after the second hour. So the first 2 hours is free. You're not getting paid anything. And then you get $15 every hour after that. Tarp pay is $25. So you guys will get the $25 every single time you tarp a load. Most of the glass is tarped for you 66% of the time. The flatbed stuff, you're always secure in your own flatbed freight. But it does kind of help you stay in shape because you're physical with the flatbed. Whenever I was in school, that's the only companies I was looking at was flatbed companies. So I got out of the Marine Corps, 4 years, did a warehouse job that was way more physical than the Marine Corps was. And then I got into trucking. But I didn't want to do like dry van. I didn't want to do reefer. I wanted to do something that was a little more physical, a little more in control of where my load's at, securing it, that sort of thing. That's just me though. So everybody's different in here. So, but yeah, glass is easier. Flatbed's going to be harder. Definitely want to tell you that.
From a physical labor
standpoint, yeah. The lumber tarp is about 80 pounds. You'll just have to pick that up. Sometimes you have to pick it up and place it up on the trailer. The trailer deck is about this high. I'm short, but to me, it's about this high. For you guys, it's probably about that high. So just understand, you'll have to pick up that 80-pound tarp, and there's two of them. So you have 2 lumber tarps you're going to have to pick up. You have the lumber tarp you place on the back of your trailer, and then you'll put another lumber tarp on the front of your trailer. When they load you with lumber, drywall, whatever they're going to put on your trailer, then you place the back tarp over the back portion of the load, and then the front tarp overlaps the back tarp. That way the wind doesn't catch it, you know what I mean? So it just breezes right off of it. So, but yeah, that's how you tarp, and tarping's the hardest part of flatbedding, for sure. If I picked up a load that was a no tarp, which I did a lot of times, I was like, woohoo, I'm going to be in and out of there in 30 minutes. If I had to tarp, oh man, it's going to be an hour. And it's cold outside, and it's raining outside, and just whatever else you're dealing with. You'll be under cover because obviously you're not going to be tarping in the rain because now your product's getting wet, which is the whole reason why you tarp in the first place. But just understand it is going to be physical. Don't want you to get into it and you're like, that recruiter was a flatbedder. Why didn't he mention this?
But it sounds like if you get thrown off schedule because it takes you 2 hours to tarp it, when you get to your destination, they're going to be open about accepting your.
Yes, that's when you call ahead, just like he was telling you whenever I walked in the classroom here. If you're gonna be late, call your company. If you're driving, don't use this thing is gonna lock out on you when you move, so you're not gonna be able to do that. Or get on there whenever you can safely stop at a rest area or something like that and say, and documentation is what you wanna do. You want a CYA. Do you guys know what CYA stands for? Good. CYA, I don't have to say it. I'm not gonna say it. But basically, always cover yourself, because if you call, there's no documentation on that. If you use this thing, there's documentation. You go right back through your messages and say, I let you guys know I was not gonna be able to deliver today. And then your fleet manager will probably call that customer and say, hey, our driver's not going to make it. It's snowing and blowing. There's an accident on I-55, out of Chicago, and he's stuck, in the traffic or whatever. They shut down the interstate, whatever, which they did last week to me. There was some guy that killed a cop, and he was down there by Lincoln, Illinois. Yeah, and they shut down the whole dang interstate, and a lot of cars were lined up. Me too. So. Anyways, but yeah, that stuff happens. That's just the snow, the ice. You have no control over that. And you have a lot of miles between point A where you're picking up a load and point B where you're delivering that load. So just call ahead, let us know. And then there's no marks against you. Your 6 pennies will stay 6 pennies. But if you do not inform us through the PeopleNet or by phone call, 6 pennies, bam. And now you're getting paid less to do the same job, or 4 pennies, or 3 pennies, or you get what I'm saying? Question.
Just an offhand thing.
Yeah, I like offhand.
Schneider, I know I've talked to their people, they don't want you on the phone at all while the truck's moving.
Mm-hmm.
They won't even, I called one of their recruiter assist line.
Yeah.
I just was driving my car.
And they told you.
And she's like, and I just she didn't know I was driving. I just said, hey, yeah, I'm driving to the gym. Oh, you're in your car? I can't talk to you.
Wow.
They would not speak to me.
We're not like that. That's a good policy, I guess.
It's a safety thing.
But Bluetooth.
They communicate you through the radios and the speaker system.
Yeah.
The dispatcher. So to me, that's almost worse. I mean, you're driving along, this voice appeared out of nowhere. Drive off the road.
Right. Yeah. Our PeopleNet will talk to you, like the GPS and stuff, and PeopleNet will talk to you. You have one new message.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that. But
that's better than, hey Paul, how you doing?
Yeah, hey Paul, how you doing? How's your day going today? Being safe out there.
So you can do Bluetooth again, just like on the phone, you do head-to-head.
Yes, Bluetooth. You've got to use Bluetooth in a truck. That's a law, actually. So, and we don't. Some companies are like that. Some companies, my dad's company, he's a truck driver. He's not even allowed to be on the phone, and his company has a camera on their face. Yeah, while they drive. I wouldn't work for a company that had a camera on the face, But yeah, just so you understand that. So. But any other questions? Anything else? And then trucks are governed at 65. You don't need hazmat, doubles, triples, any extra endorsements. We pay for all your tolls, so don't worry about any toll roads. You guys are lucky living here in Chicago. They got a ton of tolls over there. And then also, TARP pay is $25. Breakdown pay is $15 an hour for every single hour from the first hour to the 11th hour of the day, which is your drive time because you're not driving the truck, which is what, $165 for a day. Keep in mind that safety net of $1,000 is always there to catch you if your paycheck starts to dip below that because of all of the 3 days of you being broke down, or waiting forever at a shipper, waiting forever at a receiver, meaning you're not driving the truck cents per mile. So definitely want to let you guys know that. If you want to know the number one reason why this guy with 3 kids, being married, happily married, did not quit his job, 800-mile weekend guarantee pay is what Maverick pays you for every weekend you do not go home. If you miss a weekend from this area, meaning your first weekend, yes, you're going to miss that. I already told you that. Maverick pays you $800 on top of whatever you ran Monday through Friday. So 800 times, we'll just do easy math here, 0.50. That's around what we pay. We pay a little better than that. But 0.50 is $400. So $400 is going to go on top of, $1,200, $1,100, somewhere in that neighborhood dollar paycheck. And yes, that's how you earn a lot more money for not going home. So if you can do it, I don't know who can in here, I can't, but if you can do like multiple weekends out, your paychecks will definitely reflect you spending weekends out away from home.
How can you do that if you have, you have to do logs or stuff like that?
No, it has nothing to do with logs. It's just about the money. Or 800 miles is what you're paid. So you have your empty miles. Maverick is going to tell you on that PeopleNet how many empty miles it is from here to Owatonna, Minnesota, for instance. And then it's going to tell you how many loaded miles we're going to pay you from Owatonna to Rialto, California, or St. Joseph, Missouri, or wherever you're going. Yeah. And then you got to figure out the closest miles to your paid miles, empty and loaded, once you get basically your load on your trailer. So that's how it works, if you're kind of
So
wondering.
you can work a weekend and still be within the guidelines of how many hours you're supposed to drive?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times this is how it works. Just want to tell you how it is. A lot of times you'll drive 400 miles, something like that, over the weekend. So you'll basically pick up your load Friday. It only goes 400 miles down the road. Maverick is going to pay you 800 miles plus, not including the 400, but basically 800 miles as a bare minimum over the weekend. Instead of you making 400 times 0.50, you're making 800 times 0.50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it ever happens to you, it happened to me one time in the 8 years from what I can remember. I remember the one time because it was St. Louis, Missouri. My wife drove over there and went to the zoo and stuff. But I got paid 800 miles because I didn't go home. I spent the weekend, supposedly, in St. Louis, Missouri. I got paid 800 miles because my truck was in St. Louis. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to pick up a load Friday. We didn't have to deliver anywhere Monday. You know what I mean?
And
So
you do that consistently?
You are off duty.
off duty.
That's
And got
nothing to do with
paid
hours
eight-
of service. This is just pay.
This is just pay, money. Has nothing to do with the logbook. Yep.
They're
This is-
crediting you 800 miles, whether you're driving or not.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you can do this consistently, like maybe.
You could do this forever. You want to know how those guys made that kind of money? That's how they made that money.
Is that on top of the actual miles?
Yes. So,
It's a road warrior.
yeah, that's a real word for sure. I couldn't do it. No way.
So
I'm
if
too
you
young.
actually drive 400 miles on Saturday, they're giving you 1,200.
No. Yeah, that's what I want to clear up. So you're driving 400, they're going to pay you 800. You drive 500, they're going to pay you 800. You drive 799 miles, they're going to pay you
If you
800.
drive 50, they're giving you 800.
800, yes. You drive 0, you sit at a truck stop all day Saturday, all day Sunday, they're paying you 800 miles. That's the best case scenario for you because you didn't even have to go to work, put your shoes on, nothing. So, but yes, that's how it works. So usually, like I said, I want to tell you how it usually works. You're going to drive some sort of distance, 500, 400, but then you're paid the 8, so that's still a good thing in your case. And it was for me too. So any other questions? 350 is your short mile pay. If you took a run from here, you emptied out here, you loaded here, you drove to Minneapolis, Maverick would pay you 350 miles to do that instead of, 50 miles, 40 miles? I'm not sure. St. Paul's closer, but just so you understand kind of what I'm saying there. So you're paid basically 350 as a minimum instead of getting 50 times 0.50. You'd quit your job today. All right, I'm done. I'm out of here. I can't handle this. $20, yeah, $25. That's what I made today. Question? I was like, did your hand go up or no? Good. Okay. Yeah, that is how it works. So 350.5354 be what, $175 thereabouts. Okay, a little more than that, but 175 we'll just say. So at least you're getting paid something. And yes, when you deliver over there, it's only going to take an hour to get there. Maybe an hour, 2 hours to get unloaded. You'll be able to reload. So don't think that's all you're making that day. And then what else? Any other questions? I've covered like everything that's big. You know what I mean? All the big stuff. So there's a lot of little stuff. I could be here for a long time. You guys don't want that, I'm sure. It's already 1:05, so I'll get out of here. Any other questions though? Anything you guys can think of? Glass and flatbed, just glass is easier. Flatbed's going to be harder, working in the elements. Just remember that. And if you're interested, I will give you my card. I'll give you my card whether you're interested or not. You can just trash it or say, no, I don't want one. Which, I understand. It is over-the-road trucking, kind of a hard job. You're welcome. And I've had some bad days here. That's anywhere you work, guys. Anywhere you work, you're going to have a bad